with Learn, Connect, Act International, LCA, and I am joined today by my partner, Tiffany McMillan. Tiffany, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Good, good. That was simple.
Short and
So,
sweet.
Tiff, you and I have been doing a lot of design and development and facilitation virtually now.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot of questions from people about some of the things that have become important in this era of sort of with COVID and our not being able to meet intact and in person. So I
Yeah.
wanted to take the opportunity just to sort of have a bit of a chat about some of the tips and techniques and tools. And one thing that you brought up that we started talking about that's become increasingly important are power skills, not soft skills, but power skills. So tell me a little bit more about your thoughts around power skills and why it's important to virtual training.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, anyone who's been in the learning and development community for any period of time has known the potency and the power of what was formerly known as soft skills, but now appropriately called power skills.
Mhm.
And that ranges from any soft skills you can imagine, those from presentation skills to managing and adapting to change and flexibility to communication skills. And those are becoming more and more imperative to a successful corporation, and quite frankly, to a fully developed and well-rounded executive in today's environment, corporate environment, and otherwise. Particularly being accentuated now in this COVID era, where before we had the luxury, dare I say, of having in-person meetings and establishing
Mhm.
rapport very easily because we're there, and you can get things from each other and vibes and whatnot. But today, in a little bit more sterile environment, where even though we still have the beauty of things like this platform, video
Mhm.
platforms, there is still that potential to have a disconnect. So those power skills, that ability to connect, to give eye contact, to effectively and efficiently, but humanistically send your message in a virtual environment. The skills like that, those powerful skills, are really, really coming to the forefront and being seen as invaluable in this virtual world. I think as well, when you don't see it, you miss it.
Yeah,
When you see it,
absolutely.
you immediately identify it and identify with it and connect to it. So
Yeah.
it's those elusive, fine-tuning power skills that make that difference for that executive in today's world.
And so it's so important that you talk about these as competencies, right? And
Indeed.
when I think about the several competencies when it comes to especially virtual training and the whole idea we're talking about of marrying power skills to virtual training, a couple of things come to mind. Number one, the willingness to be flexible and agile and adaptive to change. So it's all
Absolutely.
about the mindset, and it's about time management skills and the ability to prioritize, and also ability to work effectively in team environments that are virtual and being intentional about how you do that, and then ability to communicate effectively within the business context, I should
Absolutely.
say. So those,
Absolutely.
I mean, those are some things we need to be thinking about. But the thing that I think people get really afraid of is how can I, because in a classroom I can be creative and innovative, but how can I be creative and innovative outside of the classroom and still work virtually and connect with people? So we've been doing a couple of things I think that help out. Would you want to give any tips?
Well, one thing that I'm doing right now, looking at you virtually,
Mhm. Mhm.
is one small way that you can add that human natural interaction that we're used to in this more distant virtual environment. Also, a critical thing is, and you know this, we utilize this with clients all the time, is coming to a virtual learning experience from a facilitative standpoint and as a participant, coming with a very conscious virtual mindset. We
Absolutely.
are one, I won't call it a bad thing, but one thing that is kind of numbing us to this virtual environment and always being on a virtual platform in our meetings is that, oh, it's just another video conference call.
Right.
It's just another this. Whereas in the olden days, post or pre, should I say, COVID, when you went to a training event, you went to your,
Hmm.
your corporate learning center, or you had, a facilitator come in and you you removed yourself from your day-to-day office goings on, and you were in a conference room or a classroom. It was in your mind a different kind of event. So you tended to shift your mindset a bit. You kind of put work aside for that day or week or however long you were in that class, and you were outside of your office, and you kind of naturally came into a different mindset. When you're on, Zoom call after Zoom call or Skype call after Skype call, a virtual learning event seems like just another virtual conference call, when it's truly not. It is a virtual learning event. And what we try to do here at LCA is have it be a virtual learning experience still.
Right.
So it's not, so coming to that virtual learning experience with that intentional virtual mindset. And it's just again, that fine tuning thing that can make the difference in your experience in a virtual learning environment, from a facilitator standpoint, and most importantly, from a participant standpoint. So it works, don't you think?
I think so. I think you're right. And here's, and in sort of closing the conversation, what I'd like to pull on is something that you talked about when it comes to intent. Because number one, we judge people by what they do and what they say. We judge ourselves by our intentions, right? Well, when you're working with people, especially when you're doing what we are doing a lot of right now with virtual training, what you do and what you say becomes so important. And being intentional about that, because people can't see your intent, you have to make your intent manifest through your behaviors.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it's all about. And one thing I'll leave people with that Tiff and I do as well is we focus on how to build the relationship virtually as well, because that's a hard thing to do. It's easy in a classroom to say something to someone and see their reaction, or to walk next to someone because they're talking too loud, or whatever the case might be. But virtually, you have to be really creative and really, really understand how to build the relationship and maintain the relationship. So one thing that maybe Tiff and I will come back a little bit later and talk about is building the relationship and some of the tips and techniques we have and doing that virtually. Anything, Tiff, before we go today?
Oh my goodness. For those learning professionals out there, I just want to encourage our learning and development community that although we, thrust along with the rest of the world, are in this new virtual environment, push yourselves to think in this virtual environment. Have that virtual mindset, and take the opportunity to be even more creative and push your own design and development boundaries, and find ways to make it more experiential in their virtual environment than just another video conference call.
I love it. Thank you, Tiff, for that. And thank you all for listening in, because that's what's on our mind, but we want to know what's on your mind. So feel free to contact us at learnconnectact@gmail.com. And also, if you like, you can visit our YouTube station and see any videos that we might have posted as well. So with that said, we're going to let you go, but thank you very much. And Tiff, again, thank you for being with us, and have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.